One, and today we are breaking down Kevin Durant's comments on D Wade.
What up, people? Un-pop-ular Tru-th, back with another video. I'm gonna do a reaction on this video about Kevin Durant saying that James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade. And for clarity, I was the biggest Dwayne Wade fan. So I know about Dwayne Wade. Trust me, if anybody know about Dwayne Wade, I know about Dwayne Wade. So I'm finna let KD say what he gonna say, then I react to it.
D Wade's response, and Gilbert Arenas adding historical context. So let's check this clip out.
Yesterday, Kevin Durant was asked about a recent Sports Illustrated ranking of the top 10 players in the NBA, and this is what he had to say.
Who's missing from the top 10?
I think you're missing James Harden.
All right, so if you're missing Harden, who do you take off the list?
Dwayne Wade.
So, all right, Harden for Wade.
And let me stop it right there. I remember when he said this, and I felt some type of way about that, because it was like he didn't even hesitate. Like, he already had this, but like he already had this plan. Like, he knew they were gonna ask him this question, right? So it was crazy, especially at the time, because it still don't make no sense, right? See, what a lot of people try to do is diminish Dwayne Wade. And it's kind of, he kind of helped it. He let them diminish him by when he joined with LeBron James. Everybody just made him, and he took a back seat to him. They made him seem like he was the sidekick or something like that, right? But that was never the case. He just had to adapt to their team to win. See, what KD just said, he don't understand what he messed up at, right? Dwayne Wade, his mentality is to win, right? That's his mentality. Even though he can do what James Harden do, and win a championship with it, right? But James Harden can't do what he do. James Harden can't adapt. He gotta play that way. Dwayne Wade didn't have to play that way. That's why he won those last two championships, because he could adapt to the team, what the team needed to win. James Harden only could play one way and be successful, right? So that's what Kevin Durant don't understand about actual basketball players and what you really trying to accomplish. I'm trying to accomplish a championship, not to get my stats up and the championship come afterwards. No, this is what I'm going for, the championship. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And that's what he messed up at about Dwayne Wade. But anyway, get back into it.
D Wade did not like that, so he posted this. KD said James Harden should replace me in the top 10. Note to self, make him respect your place in history again. So recently, Kevin Durant was speaking on James Harden and D Wade again. So take a listen to what he had to say, and then we're going to listen to what D Wade had to say.
I might have to disagree, because when D Wade won that first championship, I think that's what people even having this argument about D Wade and James, because that championship that D Wade won,
The first one.
and the style he won it in was insane. Everything was downhill, pick and roll to the cup. I'm scoring tonight. Dolo. Shaq was out there. But second option. And he had shooters around him, and Posey and Antoine Walker, and he had backup point guards that could help him. Who that sound like? James Harden. James Harden played that same style. A pick and roll, going downhill, big that can catch a lob with shooters around him, and I can go get you a bucket. James Harden played that same type of style. He didn't have that moment that D-Wade had, being able to come down 3-1, Pat Riley, Miami Heat organization. There's a lot worked in D-Wade's favor And he had to show up, but it's a
For
lot
sure.
worked in his favor for him to win that championship.
So at y'all tape,
And they love to. I don't know why they try to do that. James Harden had everything that he needed too. He had in Houston. He had everything that he needed. If you want to try to compare them to, and that ain't even. You can't compare them to. Because one, they was going for different stuff. They was going for different stuff. Dwayne Wade was going to win. And then you say James Harden didn't have that moment. That's what separates him. He didn't have the moment. That's what separates him. He didn't have the moment where when he got in the championship, he showed out. He didn't have that moment. So that's where the separation comes in at. Right? And Dwayne Wade wasn't foul baiting his whole career either. I hate when people try to act like James Harden was scoring, when he scored his 36 points, James Harden was shooting like almost 15 to 20 free throws a game. And the league was buying into that. So Dwayne Wade was going to the rim and actually getting fouled. James Harden was foul baiting. And it showed every time the playoffs came. Every time they got to the playoffs, you seen Dwayne Wade style of play was get to the rim and score, and then if I get the foul, I get the foul. And James Harden, whole thing was, I'm gonna try to get the foul and then try to score. Which one of those playing styles worked in the playoffs the most? Because guess what? It didn't work for him, because once during that regular season, they let him get away with all that stuff. Then when the playoffs came, they stopped calling it for him. And it messed up his whole game, because now you ain't getting those 50, 30, 40 games. You getting 20. You getting 25. So you don't drop your whole thing down in the playoffs. The playoffs is when you show your game, what you really made of. And that's what separates. That's another thing that separates him and Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade stepped up when he got in the playoffs. James Harden didn't. So that's why you can't compare those two. That's why Dwayne Wade is the third best shooting guard of all time. Don't get me wrong. I like James Harden. But he's just not better than Dwayne Wade. And that's what Dwayne Wade did to hurt himself, to make people even think that, is when he teamed up with LeBron James and took a back seat. Now people are not remembering what Dwayne Wade actually was and what he actually. And I tell people this all the time. It's a hot take. At the time when Dwayne Wade was at his peak of his game, he was better than LeBron James. It is what it is. You can hate that take all you want to, but he was better than LeBron James. The eye test showed that he was better than LeBron James. Everything showed that he was better than LeBron James. He won the championship on his own back his first year, his third year in the league. His third year in the league. So, and Dwayne Wade beat the Pistons that everybody was talking about. LeBron James beat. He actually beat the Pistons with with Ben Wallace on the team. Yeah. So we need to really. I'm gonna have to do a breakdown about Dwayne Wade to show people that y'all people don't know what y'all were talking about. Dwayne Wade did what he had to do. He did what he was trying to do to win, but it ended up hurting him in the long run, because now everybody trying to act like he wasn't that guy.
But I don't feel like D Wade. I don't feel like D Wade's style of play is just more conducive to winning than James. I don't agree with that.
That don't even make sense because it is. Like it don't even make sense what he's saying because it proved that him by Dwayne Wade winning the championship his third year. It kind of proves that his play style is more conducive to winning. This literally does that. It literally proves that his playing style is more conducive to winning. I don't know what the hell Kevin Durant talking about right now. He just had this on the agenda to talk about. I don't know what happened there.
But like they both are winning players that could contribute to great teams. You know what I'm saying? D Wade didn't have to do as much for them last 2 championships.
It was incredible what's needed.
But by him saying that, what championship has James Harden? When y'all got there, James Harden didn't go crazy. When y'all played him, tell him about the last 2 championships. What do you mean? I don't get what he mean by that. They just, like I say, this is another one of those things where people just throw stuff up in the air and just expect for you to believe it. When y'all met up with them in the finals, you did your thing. I think Westbrook did his thing. James Harden wasn't doing that like that in that series. Dwayne Wade did his thing. So what do you? It didn't make sense. It don't make sense what you talking about. Dwayne Wade game has literally showed that his way of playing is more conducive to winning than James Harden.
You know, I mean, as a second option on the team, but that was my leading man moment, and I stepped up to to when my name was called, right? And
Yes.
it's really cool for me to
able.
But I don't feel like D Wade's style of play is just more conducive to winning than James. I don't agree with that. I feel like they both are winning players that could contribute to great teams. You know what I'm saying? D Wade didn't have to do as much for them last 2 championships.
It was incredible what's needed, you know what I mean, as a second option on the team.
Yeah, I just don't see what he mean by he ain't have to do as much. So who did it? So what you saying is you downgrading what y'all did when they played y'all. Like I don't know, man. I'm gonna just let that play.
But that was my leading man moment, and I stepped up to to when my name was called, right? And
Yes.
it's really cool for me to always hear the way that hoopers, like everybody think that we as hoopers we all think the same.
Right.
We all view the game the same. You know, we see the game the same. We don't. And so it's always good for me to be able to hear hoop heads, hoop greats talk, and you see the way they see the game. And we respect KD over here because he's one of them dudes when it comes to the game of basketball. And I don't play the game the way that KD played the game, right? We play different styles. And so I can appreciate, I think sometimes when people play similar styles, they compare them so much that it makes some people hard to appreciate each other's game. And, I think, so if one, shout out to KD for, obviously talking about the 06 run I had, because he right, man, I was downhill. Like, bro, I'm going to get a bucket on you, and I don't care which way it come. It's just going to happen. And you in my way, I'm coming right there.
Yes.
That was like the mentality, right? Like I was just a young free player who had and who understood the moment, I think. And then why I say that is because he expressed this a little bit when he talked about James Harden and the comparison between us. And he was saying, like, I see a lot of similarities in their game if you look at, downhill players,
right,
making plays, for them teammates and for themselves and putting pressure on the defense all day long. But for me, at that time in my third year, I understood just I really try to take advantage of that moment because I knew that this does.
And that's the biggest difference right there. James Harden didn't take advantage of the moment. It's the only thing. That's what shows. That's what shows your upper level when you get to the playoffs. When you get to the playoffs, you gotta know how to. You gotta perform in the moment. Dwayne Wade just did it better. We can say they got the same similar play styles, but I did it better. It don't matter. Dwayne Wade did it better. That's all that is. When it was time for him to show up, he showed up in the playoffs. That's it.
This does not happen that often. I may not get this opportunity again, and I can't let this opportunity slide, right? And I didn't know I would go back to the finals 4 more times after that, but like, what if this is my only time, my only chance? And I knew that I had the perfect situation. Like, I had the perfect big man that, you know, Shaq at that time was obviously getting older, but he still can give you 30 and 20 some nights.
Right.
He did it in the Chicago series leading up to it.
Right.
I had the perfect 4-man in UD, just somebody we knew was going to knock down, 15, 17-footer, going to guard the other team's best player, going to do all the dirty work, going to foul him up, going to take up for you.
Straight up.
And then I had the perfect 3-man and 3-man and 2-man. Like, I had Antoine Walker, James Posey, like the squad. And then on the sideline, Pat Riley, that coaching staff. So everything was set. I had to do my job.
This really puts D-Wade's career into perspective. You see how much timing, teammates, and coaching mattered for his championships, but also how he consistently showed up and took control when it counted. I love how he responds to Durant respectfully, explaining that greatness isn't just about the situation, it's about execution, mindset, and seizing the moment.
And my job, I did very, very well, right? As a young player, just be on the attack. And, you know, you got the ball, do something positive with it more times than not. And I try to do that. And so he right from that standpoint. It's like, you know, a lot of players, you know, they like to, it's some players you can automatically be like, yo, they're just better at this, or they're just greater at this. But when it comes to like winning, sometimes it depends on what situation you get put in.
Consensus has him, you know,
And yeah, well, I didn't stop that too much because Dwayne Wade said kind of the same thing I was saying. Like, I took advantage of my moment. You didn't. That's just how life goes. There's any situation in life, we can get the same opportunities, but I took advantage of mine. And so that's all that happened. And mine's gonna look better because I took advantage of it and I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do to make it happen. Dwayne Wade was the 5th draft pick. Nobody wasn't expecting him to do what he did, except the Miami Heat. But anyway, let's go see what Gilbert Arenas said.
I'm pretty sure players have him 3. I don't know. No one's ever questioned who was the 3rd best. I mean, the only person that you would have pushback on is probably Allen Iverson. So if there's going to be a debate, it's probably going to be a debate between Allen Iverson and Dwayne Wade. And I know consensus has James Harden in front of Allen Iverson. From the last one I looked at, it was what? Jordan, Cole.
And yeah, he right about that. He right about that. And to be honest with you, my 3 favorite players of all time, my favorite players, not my people that I think the best of all time, is Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Dwayne Wade. Those are my favorite basketball players of all time. Dwayne Wade you win the championship, that puts you above. I mean, it is what it is. James Harden never been to a championship being the number 1 guy. So Allen Iverson is above him too to me. you never made it. You never made it to a championship being the number one guy. It just is what it is. We can break that down and try to say that he was scoring, this amount of points, but when it came down to it, you couldn't never go to the next level. That's the number one. You was a third option when you played, and you went. But anyway, man, I'm gonna stop the video right there. It's getting too long. Like, share, subscribe, please, man. Help me out trying to run this YouTube channel up. So, y'all be good. Peace.